Hey brothers and sisters, and this is the World News Update. 13 of 15-member UN Security Council oppose U.S. push for Iran sanctions. Pompeo triggers 30-day countdown to return UN sanctions on Iran, but Security Council members say move is void as Trump pulled out of Iran nuclear deal in 2018. The United States was further isolated on Friday over its bid to reimpose international sanctions on Iran, with 13 countries on the 15-member UN Security Council expressing their opposition, arguing that Washington's move is void given it's using a process agreed under a nuclear deal that it quit 2 years ago. Pompeo Kushner to Mideast as U.S. presses Arab-Israeli peace. The Trump administration is sending two top officials to the Mideast this week in a bid to capitalize on momentum from the historic agreement between Israeli and the United Arab Emirates to establish diplomatic relations. The three diplomats say Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and President Donald Trump's senior advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner plan to make separate multiple-nation visits to the region in the coming days to push Arab-Israeli rapprochement in the aftermath of the Israel-UAE deal. Kushner extends U.S. peace offer to Iran, says Trump ready to talk, meet leaders. The United States is willing to enter peace negotiations with Iran if U.S. President Donald Trump is re-elected in November, top White House official Jared Kushner said, as Washington tries to snap back UN sanctions against the Islamic Republic. Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor, said the U.S. president would be willing to meet Iranian President Hassan Rouhani and other leaders in an interview with Voice of America conducted Tuesday and published Wednesday. Palestinians' Pompeo visit won't advance peace process with Israel. Palestinian officials said on Monday that the visit of U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to Israel and sub-Arab states will not contribute to any peace process between the Palestinians and Israel. The officials told the Jerusalem Post that Pompeo's main task was to advance normalization between some Arab countries and Israel at the expense of the Palestinian people. The U.S. administration, they said, has disqualified itself from playing any role as an honest broker in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Hezbollah shot down an Israeli drone in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah shot down an Israeli drone near Ata al-Shabab in southern Lebanon on Saturday, according to Hezbollah-affiliated Al-Manar news channel. The report was confirmed by the IDF. Iran, Hamas, and Islamic Jihad call for uprising after UAE-Israel deal. The Middle East needs an uprising similar to the Islamic Revolution in Iran that will unite the resistance of the Islamic community against a culture of defeat that has affected Arab regimes, Palestinian Islamic Jihad's representative to Iran recently said. Trump hails FDA's authorization of plasma treatment for coronavirus after slamming agency. President Donald Trump on Sunday hailed FDA authorization of a coronavirus treatment that uses blood plasma from recovered patients a day after accusing the agency of impeding the rollout of vaccines and therapeutics for political reasons. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announcement of its emergency use or authorization of the treatment came on the eve of the Republican National Convention, where Trump will be nominated to lead his party for 4 more years. Likud blue and white talks break down hours before deadline to avert election. Talks between the Likud and blue and white parties aiming to avert early elections broke down on Monday just hours before the deadline for passing the annual budget was set to expire, leading each side to renew claims that the other was dragging the country back to the ballot box. The breakdown followed a demand from Likud negotiators that a snap government decision barring the appointment of any senior officials be passed together with the budget deadline extension that the sides were slated to legislate later Monday night, Hebrew media reported. Shofar may be blown on Temple Mount for first time since temple destruction. According to a new report from Breaking Israel News, a petition is currently being considered by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which will reportedly permit Jews to blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah on the Temple Mount, which is the first this has transpired since the destruction of the temple that a Jew would be granted permission to blow the shofar at the holiest site in the world. And that's the World News Update for today, brothers and sisters. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and God bless.